Hey everybody, pull up a seat. I have just topped off my glass. Why don't you grab your favorite beverage and join me? This is the Paddy Wagon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paddy Wagon. I'm going to start this one a little different here. This is she's already chuckling. I hear it. This is generally where I will tell you what an amazing guest I have, which I do. And I do. I'll sit there and I'll try to come up with a great intro for people because you want to come out of the gates hot. I try to be creative and informative. Why are they here? And just go through all the reasons why you're going to listen to the show for the next hour to hour and a half. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. I don't have shit. I didn't fucking create shit that will supplant the information that was provided to me in the Tell Me About Yourself section of my podcast questionnaire guest form. Today on the show, we have, I'm going to say the name, I'm going to get it right, Melissa Sifjardóttir. And I give you, in her own words. All right, here we go. You ready, Melissa?
Yes, bring it on.
All right, bring it on. Here we go. So first, I was in a sex fetish for years called Feederism, where guys from all over the world wanted to fatten me up. I got some crazy stories there. I eventually got up to 540 pounds, decided it wasn't for me, became a fitness instructor. Then I moved, and the pandemic happened, and during it, I joined a group of witches that turned into a cult. While in the cult, I started a fragrance company. Then I left the cult. I'm not going to write anything better than that. I'm not going to try to come up with anything better than that. That is amazing. There is a lot to unpack there. That was one of the greatest sales pitches for why I would ever want somebody on my podcast. I don't know where to begin, so we will start simple. Melissa, first off, thank you so much for coming onto the show. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. Okay.
Any excuse really to get drunk is...
Dude, I knew we became best friends. That's what I'm talking about. So let's start simple before we start to unpack some of this shit. What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking, it's a cocktail of lemonade and blackberry bourbon. And it is a special bourbon because I go all over the country and hawk my perfume company. And in Dubuque, Iowa, I buy like a little thing as a memento everywhere I go.
Everywhere you go, okay.
And in Dubuque, Iowa, I got some Cody's Road is the name of the brand bourbon. And they're exclusive to Iowa at a place called Catfish Charlie's, which is right on the Mississippi River.
Good plug, Catfish Charlie's. Great name. A lot of good ingredients in the Midwest for bourbon. So that's solid. How does it taste? Bourbon. Let me try to get this. It sounds amazing because one, you have it mixed with lemonade. And it was, did you say blackberry?
Mm-hmm.
Blackberry. Okay. Bourbon wise, how does the bourbon taste?
Oh, fantastic.
Good.
I'd had it when I was in Iowa. So now it's bringing me back to being on the Mississippi River with all the Midwesterners who are very, very blunt about who they are as people.
They are. Are they not blunt about who they are as people? Yes, very true. I was going to have bourbon, and for some odd reason I didn't. So I decided, with the theme of the show, being the Paddy Wagon here, decided to go with a Teeling whiskey. It's a small batch Irish whiskey. If you like Irish whiskey, try some. I'll hold it up for you here. Just kind of a simple but yet cool bottle. Very good, very tasty, very smooth. No complaints. I bought it just because I like the bottle. I do that. I'll buy wine because I like the bottle, whiskeys, bourbons because I like the bottle. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Most of the time it does because I like to drink. So recommended if nobody's had it before. So thank you for bringing a drink on the show with me. Greatly appreciated. Can't drink alone. So okay. So back to you for a second. I think any of these things that you would have sent to me would be like, you know what? Melissa seems cool. I'm going to have Melissa on the show. Okay. Combining them together is even better. I'm curious I guess, more about the path you were on than where you ended up, because it is so fascinating to me, and I think it would be fascinating to anyone else. So, if you don't mind, just kind of just walk me through a little bit so I can get an idea.
Okay. So when I was 18, I was in college.
Okay.
It was my freshman year of college, as one usually does at 18. It was 2005, so I'm dating myself and being an elder millennial. And a bunch of people were doing blogs. I had always been very big. I hit 300 pounds at 12. I'm also 5'10", so I hit 5'10" also at 12. So imagine most of this in middle school.
Okay.
So it was a good time for me, middle and high school. And
I picked up on the sarcasm there, I think.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just
I
a
think
little?
the best one was when I was in middle school, Godzilla came out, like the remake of it.
Oh, yeah.
And the tagline for Godzilla was "Size Does Matter." And that followed me around like middle school for years.
Wow. Wow.
So it was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought acne was bad. 5'10".
Yeah, try
and
towering over everybody, especially dudes, because I'm already taller than the average American
God
man, right?
damn, dude.
And I hit that at 12. So every
Fucking
guy I had a crush
12.
on only came up to my tits. It was a good time.
I mean, listen, if I had to come up to something, I'd prefer a set of tits. So whatever.
Also,
Okay, so we got you there. All right, so you're taller than everyone. You're bigger than everyone. Okay, so that's middle school. Okay.
yep.
All right, keep going.
So I go on the internet trying to like find information to start a blog, because that was the new cool thing in 2005 was blogging. And I was like, I know fat fashion, I know fat lifestyle stuff. I was like, there's definitely a market for a blog like this. And I started doing some research. And when I came across fat positive spaces online in 2005, I came across the world of Feederism. And when I started kind of like reading some of the erotica that was out there and some of what people were doing, I was like, oh, I have been into this like for my entire life. I just didn't think that that was a thing that existed.
Okay.
And I think like the early 2000s is a really good time capsule of all of the weirdos finding out that they're not so weird online.
Fuck,
And that
that's
was
a great
definitely
point. There's people just like me. That had to be very just comforting in a way, because I think we all think we're fucking weird when we're
Yes.
grown up. There's something wrong with me. Even the perfect kids and the princesses and the jocks and everyone that's so perfect, they're not fucking perfect. We all have our issues. But feeling alone is sad to me. And I think knowing that there's someone else out there, like I said, I think comforting is probably the word I would use. Okay. So you found comfort in being big. It sounds like let me ask you this. You have a confidence about you. Let's start with this. Okay.
it's prominent Leo placements. So
Okay.
thank you.
But you're like, I'm a big girl. I like fashion. There's something for me out here. And that's how you stumble across Feederism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carry on.
And it was really interesting to go from kind of my previous experiences where nobody, like, there were absolutely people who had crushes on me who didn't tell me until like graduation day.
That's how that works. That's how that works.
Yeah, fucking sucks. And I was
Yes,
like,
it does.
really? It would be nice to have known this like a year ago before I'm going to school in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
So I found like dozens of dudes. I'm queer, but the world of feudalism, the gender balance is like way off.
Okay.
It's around 90% men and 10% women.
Okay. And this is a two-sided thing we have here, okay? I get off on feeding you, right? We're both involved. I get off
If
on
you're the
feeding.
feeder, that's like the role.
And what do you
it's
call it? The
is feeder.
feedee?
Yeah, the feedee
Oh,
is the one getting bigger.
Fuck, that was a total guess. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Kudos.
I'm getting off on feeding you. You are getting off on being fed, right?
Yeah. I mean, not right now.
Well, I'm not.
For significant amounts of life, that was the case.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yes, I was going to say, yes, this is not going on currently.
No.
Okay.
Donuts are not involved, and it's really disappointing for me, to be honest. I'm kidding.
I was going to say, I would love to fuck your mouth with a donut, but we won't get into that. Okay. I do have a question. Let's take a step back. This is not why we're here, but I just have to ask. I'm one of the people who I will say I try to respect the pronouns, which I do. Anyone is who they are. I'm not in a position. I don't think anyone's in a position to ever tell somebody how they feel inside. It's a big no-no for me. I can not understand something, which a lot of them I don't. When I was growing up, I'm only a couple years older than you. Queer meant gay, and I've never asked. I don't think I've ever looked it up, but I'm starting to get the idea that queer isn't necessarily gay.
Yeah, queer is kind of
maybe. Can you explain it just so I know?
Yeah, queer is just kind of anything in the alphabet mafia, as I like to say it.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
So I personally identify as pansexual. Gender is like not a thing that really matters to me. I don't particularly give a shit. And I think like I often talk about dudes because it's all I had access to.
Okay.
There was like one chick feeder and she lived very far from me. And I was like, I would do so much to see you. But early, like for most of my interactions in the world of feederism, it was all dudes all the time.
Okay. And pansexual is attracted to anything that you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Doesn't matter. Now, does it, please excuse the way I'm going to ask this. Human beings, anything. Like if you're attracted to, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. My husband clocked my type, which, I mean, took him like 6 years of being married for him to clock my type. And he said my type was weird, funny, and smart. And the weirder, the smarter, and the funnier they are, the more I'm going to like them.
You hear that, husband? Like, you better watch out, pal. She's on the Paddy Wagon, dude. I love it.
And like Kate McKinnon, hot as shit.
She is kind of hot. She's like
hot.
Weirdly girl next door hot. She's funny as shit. I can see that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. I like that.
Also hot. I mean, I do have a thing for comedians, but it goes with the funny part. So like, yeah, gender doesn't really matter as long as you're smart, weird, and funny.
I love that he nailed it too. That's the best part. And you have a good husband because you're like, well, fuck, you know me well. You are not wrong. I hope he's all three.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is a compliment, my guy. And he was like, oh no, I am absolutely all three. And I was like, okay, as long as you're okay.
As long as you're. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah. All right. So you're getting into feederism, which I feel like I'm cutting you off, but I feel like if I don't stop and we kind of go through this, I'm going to miss a question.
Bring it on.
Without digging too deep.
We have to dig deep in a sex fetish. Okay. If not, we're missing
No, not like that. Not like
joy.
that. Here's what I will say. People eat and get big for a number of reasons. Some people like to eat. Sometimes there's trauma. Sometimes there's a little bit of both. Okay. Without getting there, if you don't want to go there, you get in. You're big. Okay, you're big. You're 300 pounds. You're fucking dunking basketballs on dudes in fucking 6th grade or whatever grade you're in when you're 12. Okay, but you like to eat. Okay, a lot of people like to eat. So you didn't get that way, I don't think, right? By you enjoyed eating, yes? Is that's
a little bit of a spoiler for future stuff.
Okay, we'll hold off on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
but
we'll
you bring us back to that when you're
Yeah.
there. Okay. And then if this one is also too far ahead, stop me. But I am curious as to where I want to eat food, because we all eat food and we all want to eat and we all crave food, unless you maybe have an eating disorder on the other end of that spectrum, where the sexual fetish part, like how that becomes a thing. So I just want to put that out there for you. I would love to hear your version of how you got to that. Okay.
So I would say Feederism has like a lot of like offshoots
Okay.
that are like related, but they're not exactly the same. And there's definitely a whole section of people who just really like to focus on the food part. And if gaining happens, gaining happens.
Okay.
I think Feederism is where like the gaining takes center stage, but both of those sides I've seen kind of fall under Feederism. But that's not always, everybody kind of has a different definition, kind of like being queer.
Okay.
So I do know that there are a lot of people who just get off on like eating all the time, and if weight gain happens, weight gain happens.
Okay.
Most of the people I talked to were more in like the weight gain is our end goal. So if we're doing weight gain shakes, if we're doing like funnel feeding, because that kind of takes a little bit to get fuller so you can eat more and then just be like uncomfortably full and take a nap. There's like a bunch of different things that you can kind of do there to get as big as possible. There's also people in the Feederism world who have like a limit. Like if you start having difficulties with mobility, we're going to stop.
Okay. And then on the flip side of that, I assume there's people who want to see a lack of mobility.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
where, you know, I had a guy in France who was willing to pay to move all of my shit to France and fly me first class. And first it was a guy in Australia. And
Okay.
then it was a guy in France. So whenever my husband pisses me off, I'm like, I could be mobile and full of cheese right now.
I could be full of cheese and croissants, you fucking asshole. Have a fucking kangaroo meat sandwich. Okay, so
And here
all
I am
right.
fighting with you about
There's
dishes.
so there's different versions. I'll ask. I assume one of them is like, I want to feed you till you puke.
Yep.
Okay. There's anything I could possibly say is a thing, I feel.
I think there was a super weird one. And that was a guy who wanted to have only girls as children. And I was like, I don't know how one does that. And he would raise all of his daughters as feeties and try to get them big too. And I was like, no, very uncomfortable with that. Because like at least I know the health consequences. I know
You're
what
making
I'm
your
doing.
choice. You're doing your
Yeah.
thing.
I'm making my choice and I'm doing my thing. Those kids, I mean, I don't have kids, so, but
Yeah.
those kids wouldn't have that same autonomy, and that's not okay with me.
No, then it shouldn't be. That's one is fucking abuse, and the other is I'm signing up for this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we are into Feederism. 540 is a fucking big number. Okay. And it is first off, the level of comfort that I have discussing somebody's weight right now with them is you've created this level of comfort in me because this was your thing. I don't think I've ever had this conversation with anyone, let alone a woman. It's just not a thing that you talk about. You know it, you see it. It's something very visible to your eyes. You know, goes, hey, I'm very curious. How much do you fucking weigh? And you're like, then you get slapped in the face for that shit. But like 540's big, I guess we could say. Okay, so you get up to that point. You've got the nice gentleman around the world wanting to feed you, get you there, keep you there, if not get you bigger. Am I missing anything about Feederism? I feel you did a great job of explaining it. I mean, what is the actual definition of Feederism.
So it's literally just one partner, the feeder, encourages weight gain in their partner, who is the feeder, and both derive sexual pleasure from it. I think that's
Okay.
like the technical Urban Dictionary
Okay.
definition.
All right. And you liked being fed. And the people
Loved it.
like it. It's a control thing too, I think. But you have control in that situation if somebody's telling you to eat. I'm very curious about boundaries and expectations and a lot of things with that.
So it depends on the feeder-feedee relationship. There's definitely like submissive feedies. I was more of a dominant feedie. I was also like a little bit into findom, which is financial domination.
Okay.
Because if you don't know, eating a lot of Taco Bell is fucking expensive.
You're fucking right it is.
And getting bigger clothes when you're already plus size, fucking expensive. So I did a little bit of findom stuff along with the feederism. So I was a little bit more of a dominant feedie, which would be like, no, you're getting me donuts now.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't do it? No.
Get your ass out and get me donuts, bitch. Send me money. Right?
Yeah.
And then that's a whole nother thing, right? I am getting off on you taking my money. And you were getting off on you getting my money.
Oh, yeah. I had a whole guy who loved me eating specifically very expensive food and him needing to eat ramen because he couldn't pay, like, for basic things.
Can I ask you the biggest amount of money that somebody gave you in one, sitting session? Like, I don't know what words we want to use. Like, is that a no? I feel like I love that. I feel that's the personal question I can't ask, but I'm also curious about the amount of money we're talking about here because you mentioned findom and I'm like, okay, well, what's going to get me off? $5 or 500?
Oh, like 2,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And we haven't even covered the celebrities part.
There's so many. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight because it's gonna be a 7 fucking hour episode today. I'm gonna sit back for a second. I'm gonna let you go talk and do your thing. Fill me in on more. Lead me down the path that you're on because I am stopping you from talking. There's just more that continues to come out when you open your mouth, and I am getting in the way. So please continue with where we're going.
All right. So, obviously, there is money to be made when you are a girl in a more male-dominated fetish. At the time that I was like really doing the stuff, fairly certain things have changed.
Okay.
I was one of the only people who was like out there, who people knew was real, wasn't like some dude impersonating, who didn't have a pay site.
Okay.
I also grew up on Long Island, so I was an hour train ride away from Manhattan. This provided me with a lot of opportunities to be incognito for some high-profile individuals. I'm not going to name names, at least not now, because I haven't had enough bourbon.
Okay.
But
someone I would know or somebody most people would know?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
And not somebody, like somebody's.
Somebody's. Oh, my God. Drink up, sister. We got some data we need to download there. Okay. So high profile. And that, you know what? And this is, I will say this is the last time I'm going to cut you off. If you were into something, if you are not hurting somebody, please be into that thing. The world is a better place when people are happy and people are not judgmental and just like fucking whatever works. Just accept people for who they are. Okay, so you've got high profile clients in Manhattan. You're eating.
Not clients. It's not like I wasn't.
Is that not a client? What do you call that? I would call clients. Friends?
No, it was just people that I like would occasionally hang out with who would give me food.
Do you have? Can we try this once? Do you have any snack next to you right now?
No.
Anything?
I mean, I'm here. I'm a snack.
You are a snack. Can you take a sip of bourbon for me? Yes. Show me how you drank the bourbon. Look at that. I love it. Oh, I'm in
There you go.
control. I love it. Okay. That looked like
The
a
only
good sip,
time
dude.
I'll
That
let
is the
a
best looking
man
drink
take
ever.
control of me.
All right. Continue, my friend. So
Yeah, but I
carry
will
on.
say, like, in terms of that, it was mostly like, I don't know, like a fuck buddy, friends with benefits, one night stand kind of situation. It wasn't any like long term anything.
So in person, it obviously leads to sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Over the interwebs, am I jerking off?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just
Absolutely.
you've
The
got
other
the
thing
fork.
too is that because there's so few feedies and so many feeders, that a lot of times when I would like meet up with someone in real life, they would not know what to do. Like they would just be like so overwhelmed with like, I haven't been able to do this. I remember once I went out to breakfast with like a really good friend of mine who I had met in the fetish, and he lived like across the country, and I made this cross country trip, and he was in the town that I was staying in, so we met up for breakfast, and I just like took the French toast off of his plate because I think like he probably forgot, because this was, I want to say, like 5 years after I met him online, and he just like, every part of him just like stopped because he just was like, oh, like it never occurred to him that I would do something like that. And like it was so small. If anybody in that restaurant was looking at us, they wouldn't think that any of that was remotely sexual. I just like took his French toast and was like, yeah, this is mine now, bitch.
Oh
And
my God.
I think like there's so much of that too when I would meet up with these guys in real life. They would just be like, this is my time to be with the feedy. What, I'm going to do the thing, and like almost like it's so awesome that I'm just paralyzed and I don't know what to
You're
do.
in your element. When I'm behind my computer right now, I'm in my element.
Yeah.
There's a different dynamic when you're in person because everything that turns you on is right in front of you. It's like, I don't know what to fucking do with it. She's right
Yep.
here. Fuck. So it's like overload, and you just reboot, and you're like just sitting at the prompt, like that little flashing white light where it's just like, I got to do something, and it's not coming to me right now.
Yeah, and usually I would be the one to like break the ice and be like, all right, so are we gonna go inside the restaurant, or like what are we doing
Oh my
here?
God. Wow. This is, yeah. Fuck. You know what? I need a fucking reboot. That's what I need, because I don't know where to go with so much of this information. When did you realize the sex? When did you connect the dots with food and sex? Was it the men realizing it turned them on and it turned you on? Like, was it, help me get
I
there?
was like 7, 8 when I realized that cartoons that involved weight gain made me feel funny. I'll put it that way. And once I
Okay.
had
I need to
my
know what
first,
cartoons you're talking about.
there's Doug Tips the Scales where he gets really fat. There's like a ton of like Tiny Toons where Babs eats a bunch of carrot cake and gets really fat.
Okay, gotcha.
There's
So
like
that
stuff like
made you
that.
tingle in places.
Tingle in places, didn't know what that tingle was, just knew that I liked it.
Yep.
Then I had my first orgasm and I was like, oh, we're connecting some dots there.
Okay. All right.
That's,
Do you
I didn't
remember what gave
expect
you
it.
your first orgasm?
The dude in my college's MySpace forum that said that he liked curvier girls.
That's it. I like
Yeah.
curvier girls, and you were done.
And I was like, I got a chance. Doing it.
I love it. That's fucking amazing. Oh my God. Okay. So I wonder how so were you ever the feeder?
Occasionally.
Okay.
I will say I don't like it as much, but
Okay.
like every once in a while, just kind of like every once in a while a dom becomes a sub just to spice things up a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't like it as much. Um, I and my feeder style was closer to like what I liked feeders to do for me, which was always like a little bit more incognito. Like I was with this one feeder who's great, who just kind of like always kept the food that you liked around you.
This is in
And like,
person?
this is in person, yeah. And
Okay.
he like talked a lot. And I remember just being like hanging out with him until like 3 a.m. And we had gone to 3 different restaurants. A dozen donuts were gone. And I'm like, oh, you're good. You like Jedi mind tricked, fattened me up.
So he was good at it in the sense like not stringing you along, but like teasing almost.
Or like just kind of creating an environment where it doesn't feel forced. It just feels organic.
Natural. So the
Yeah.
natural that was something that was turning you on as well. Was it wasn't a game. It's just like, hey, this is just a night out. This guy's amazing.
Yep.
He's feeding me. It's not weird. I mean, is there a weirdness? Is there a level of weird? Like so if I connect with you, we're meeting for the first time, you're a feedie, I want to feed you. Is there anything that I can say right now as to where you're like, you know what, this probably not going to work out?
Well, I mean, if you're like into something super hardcore that I'm not into,
What
right?
is hardcore? Like a certain type of food or a certain, is it?
Like there's vor that I was never really into.
Can you explain that one?
Vor is like swallowing and like swallowing someone whole, which like has to be done in fantasy. That was not really my thing.
Okay.
There was also like there's a lot of feeders who are into like farting. That's not really my thing.
Who's farting, you or them?
I'm farting.
Okay. Okay. Is there
I
a
don't even know what that's
I want to
called.
see, that's fine. Is there a I want, then on that note, I want you to eat until you have to shit? I can assume that's probably a thing.
Probably. I don't know if I interacted with anybody on that level, but yeah. It's one of those things that like if I came across that I would not be surprised.
Yeah. No, well, nothing surprises you once you start to go down this rabbit hole of just the word fetish is just you better buckle that fucking seatbelt because you're about to go for a fucking ride. Okay. All right. So now I know how to turn you on. All right. It's just like night out. Let's go to like 6 restaurants and hang out. Not anymore though. Okay.
Or my personal favorite is I had a guy whose fantasy was getting like a econo van and like making the back just a bed and just driving me around from drive-through to drive-through and just like throwing stuff in the back.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Are people mean? Can people be mean when they do it? Is that because again, there's that angle too of the fetish, like into name calling. I'm not I don't like to be mean, but like
I'm into that.
You're into
but that
that
was like a thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
so if I said rude
piggy,
remarks. Yeah, see, oh boy, that seems so mean, but that's your thing. You like that.
Oh no, I was totally fine with it. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
I went across the country to stay with a dude, and when I left, where I slept in his bed, I left a stuffed animal that was a pig, so that he had something to remember me by.
Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, like piggy's totally a term of endearment.
But it sounds like my little piggy sounds nice.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like you're threatening somebody or being an asshole. I can think of a bunch of words that I could say to somebody, regardless of what they look like, that would be mean. Is there a level of mean? Is there a word that doesn't work, or is it just like, no, this is part of the game?
There's some feeders who like get off on like insulting you, or I did have one feeder that I dated for a while who was really big on like the voyeuristic part of it and like having other people know and other people watch. And I'm like, sir, this is a Burger King. Like, they've already seen some shit. They need to deal with other stuff too. Like, this poor minimum wage worker does not need, like, let's just go to the car. Like, we don't need to do this like
at the
cash register.
at the cash register.
Yeah.
What did he want at the cash register?
Oh, it'd be like he'd order stuff and then he'd be like, yeah, she's eating for all three of us. And like, it would just be me and him. And you're like, all right, weird. But I guess that's your thing. So like, kudos. I was also really poor at the time. So I was like, all right, you're paying.
Yeah. Does it get sexual in public as well? I guess not necessarily for you, but that's got to be a thing where.
One of the things I will say about Feederism in general, and one of the things I kind of respect about it, is that there's sexual stuff you could do in public that nobody would think is sexual.
Interesting. That's a great point. Like the French toast.
Yeah, like the French toast on that same trip, actually. But I met up with a different feeder, and I got so big in the booth just from like eating that he fell out. Like, it was already a tight booth, to be honest. Let's be real. But
okay.
And then like he like couldn't stay on the booth anymore and like fell off. And that was like a big thing that turned him on. That like you can't always act on in a Golden Corral, but you could do it when you get home.
What would be the best fucking restaurant to go to? In your opinion, what were your favorite things to eat? And if I could just seal the deal with you, sister, where am I taking you? Where are we going?
Well, Checkers.
But we don't have those around here. That's the burger
Checkers,
place, right?
Rallies is like an original thing.
Fuck, dude. Does Checkers have? So they're the same one, okay? Do they have the Big Buford at Checkers?
Yep, they have the Big Buford. I think the menu is still exactly the same. That was the deep sea double. God.
Yeah,
deep sea double.
Damn, I'm getting hard thinking about a fucking Big Buford, man. Holy shit! I haven't had one of those. We had rallies here, and I would just that was my go-to every single fucking time was the Big Buford. I think I want to look a picture of it up. I'm starting to get this. This might be my thing.
Or I used to like make anybody a feeder just by saying like, you can understand that the softness, the curviness of a larger woman could be hot, right? And then follow
the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So then the next step is just making it softer and curvier. And then you're a feeder.
Interesting.
So it's not that like big a jump. If you already like fat chicks, right? It's not a huge jump to be a feeder.
Do you know what I've always hated?
Bring it on.
Always hated. She's pretty for a fat chick, or she'd be so hot if she wasn't fat. I think that is fucking horrendous. I hate the sound of it in my ears. I've never liked that because that's not a fucking, those are two different things. Someone can be ugly, but they're still, I take that back. They could be attractive to somebody, but they're not fat and ugly or not. So they don't go together. That's not.
And I had J tits when I was 540. Okay. My cup was a J.
A J?
You want to tell me that that's not awesome?
All right. How big is a J?
I mean,
how big is a fucking
bigger
J?
than probably your leg. I mean, I don't know how tall you are, but
I'm 6 foot.
Oh, okay. Then maybe not your leg.
Fucking a little person leg.
Okay.
Are we so okay? I
was definitely like probably quadruple the tits to head ratio.
Okay. So this is the letter, right? Letter is bigger around, yes, or is it further out?
Well, it's like out, I would say.
Okay. So J's are pretty far out. I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Band is what's around.
Okay, so like if I don't know what's a fucking bra size. Give me a bra size. Tell me a
Like
bra size. What? How big?
38 double D,
What do you have right now?
right? 42 double D.
42 double
Well,
D. So
I think right now I'm wearing a 40 double D.
okay, so double D is the size of
The
out,
cup.
the cup.
Yes.
So out, and
The
then
cup.
the number is all the way around your back.
Yep.
Like a measurement. Okay. Why do they go double letters, triple letters, or whatever? Why don't they just go up to the next
Because they
letter?
want to make it fucking confusing.
Okay.
To be
So
honest.
all right. So it's confusing. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Literally because it's confusing. Because a double D is also an E. And a double E is also a triple D. So, just go fuck yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Is what it gets to
Wow.
once you get past double D.
Okay. Good. Wow. Okay. So
You're just learning all of the things.
it's so difficult to stay where we were going because I'm learning all of these new things and it's fantastic.
And apparently you've never spoken to a woman before.
I feel like I haven't. I feel like I really haven't because I'm learning so many things.
Yeah, but I've also historically always been an ass titties big girl, which I do think gave me big girl cred in a different way than some other people. It hurt me in the feederism world, but I think did me really well in like the not feederism world because I dated people who weren't into fat chicks, right? Like it wasn't just feeders like all the time. And I went through a ton of times where I was like, I'm leaving this world behind and I'm not doing it and like that sort of thing. And my longest relationship prior to my husband was with someone who wasn't a feeder.
Okay. You said you're an ass and titty girl.
Yes.
Explain that.
Well, I mean, like that's where I carry my weight is.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Ass, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not, even when I was really, like when I was super big, my tits were still bigger than my belly.
Okay. All right.
Not by much, but like.
It's just, if we were racing, your tits would touch the finish line before your belly. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, now I'll ask your husband, you met your husband. Is this fetish related? Is this after? Like, walk me through this. How long have you been married? Can I ask you that?
We've been together 11 years, and we've been married, I think 7. Okay. How old is my niece? 7? Yeah.
Yeah.
7.
Well, if you're looking at me, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go with 7. She's 7.
We'll go with 7.
Okay.
So almost 8. Yeah.
Okay. And how'd you meet this strapping young lad?
Through a comedy of errors. So, this is where the shit gets dark. So when I was in the world of feederism,
okay,
I started noticing that I would binge without the feeders.
Okay.
So it started off with like, oh, I'm getting encouragement from this dude in Iowa or Colorado or San Francisco, whatever. Odds are he's probably paying for it too. That's awesome. And then what would happen is I would just kind of binge on my own. And my car was always a mess because I was constantly binging. One time I was cleaning up my car and something had gone rancid and I threw up. And then I started throwing up fairly frequently after binging.
Okay.
And I ended up going to a residential treatment facility for bulimia. I think technically on paper I was EDNOS, which is eating disorder nonspecific.
Okay.
And then I left and I was like, I have this new lease on life. I'm going to like leave the world of feederism and that sort of thing. And the more what we'd say in Renfrew was use symptoms, but abuse laxatives or threw up, the more people thought I was recovered. and like the better I was doing. And then what ended up happening is like I just kind of got into pretty hardcore bulimia. Like I was abusing laxatives every single day. And I met my ex who like kind of helped me deal with the lack of like move to a place where laxatives weren't a thing and like we're just trying to be healthy. He was also a big dude. He was like almost 400, and then when I met him he was like 175. So like he was really into like supporting me doing it in a healthy way, even though to be fair he was not particularly doing it healthy when he lost all his weight either. And I was also diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was in residential treatment.
Okay.
I was very over medicated. I was on 8 different meds for bipolar disorder, which is not what usually happens. It's usually 1, sometimes 2, occasionally 3, but definitely not 8.
Okay.
And I crashed my car. Like I totaled my car. It got repoed. My ex broke up with me because I would not stop talking to feeders. And I met my now husband. I lost my job. I left the country for the first time. And then I got kicked out of my parents' house in 6 months. And I moved in with my now husband 6 weeks after meeting him.
It's meant to be. You've been with him ever since.
Yeah, I've been with him ever since.
And nobody's leaving anybody. You sound happy.
Yeah. Well, it took a turn because I moved in with him and I was like, all right, fuck it. I've got no job. I've like got nothing. I moved from Long Island to Manhattan. So I was like, I'm going to get as big as I possibly can. And I gained 100 pounds in 3 months.
Oh, wow. Holy fuck. What the fuck? Okay, so let's go reverse here.
Okay.
Watching
To which
like
part?
no, I just want to say something. And so like if you watch like a 600-pound life,
Mm-hmm.
a person that big just has to start moving, and they are going to fucking shed weight. They're like, listen, we don't need a big fucking diet here. You don't need a big exercise program. I want you to walk back and forth between the walls in your living room over the next month. You're going to lose 50 fucking pounds. It doesn't seem
Well, what I
like
will
it
say
would
in
work
caveat with that as a person who was that big is there is a lot of water weight for most people who are that big. In
which
my
is
case,
why
it
they
was in
lose
my
it so
legs.
fast, right?
So it can go either way.
Okay.
So, and it happened to me because eventually, and we'll get there, I got gastric sleeve surgery. And I was like, because they make you lose weight before it to like prove that you can abide by any kind of like diet regimen, right?
Okay.
And I remember I had like worked my ass off to, not literally in that case, but to lose like 30 pounds.
Okay.
I had to go to the hospital and they pumped me through IV fluid, and that entire 30 pounds was right back on. And I was pissed.
100 seems not possible. Is it water? It's water weight?
So it was a combination of things, right? I had stopped taking the bipolar meds because I didn't have a job, so I didn't have health insurance.
Okay.
So I just had a cold turkey then. I was anxious as fuck because I was detoxing from a fuck ton of bipolar meds, which, spoiler alert for those who are listening, eventually when I got insurance, I went back to a psychiatrist and he said, your parents are probably the problem. And now that you moved out, I don't think you have bipolar. And I haven't been on bipolar meds since. So there was kind of like the detoxing off of all of the meds. I didn't know anybody, so I didn't really leave the apartment. I left the apartment 10 times in 6 months, and it was a 400 square foot apartment in Manhattan. So, I mean, like, none of them are all that big. We had a window that was like this big, and it had light for like 30 minutes a day. So like that it was a combination of different things, right? And then I'm with this person who's just like, all right, whatever. And I'm not leaving the couch all day. And when that's happening, you don't always realize how big you're getting, especially if you're like chilling on the couch and wearing sweatpants. You know, you can easily gain 20 pounds and like not 100% realize it. Like, I think that happened to a lot of people during the pandemic. Like, they were just like sweatpants and on their computer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was kind of like that for me.
Okay. Yeah, because I went remote with my job during the pandemic and then never went back. So weird little things like going up the steps, walking around the neighborhood, getting on a treadmill, like these little things where you're like, my body isn't working. And you're like, oh yeah, I used to walk around an office and I used to move. And now my morning, if I choose, will consist of coming down the steps, getting a coffee, and then planting my fucking ass into a seat for 8 hours, not standing, not moving, not doing anything, skipping meals. And then you're like, why are my fucking legs weak? So you're taking that, expanding upon it, no pun intended, but you're not moving at all. You're not getting off this couch. Were you sleeping on the couch?
Yep.
Okay.
Because, and I mean, like, kudos to my husband now. I love him to death. But, like, I moved in with a guy that I'd known for 6 weeks, right? Like, I knew him-ish. I was living with him, clearly. But, like, it was weird to me when we first started living together that, like, sleeping in his bed was, like, it was, like, a weird boundary I didn't want to cross.
Okay.
I mean, now we sleep in the same bed pretty much every night, unless he's like snoring really loudly. But
we do that.
But yeah, like at the beginning, I was just kind of like on the couch. So I'd like wake up on the couch and then occasionally go to the bathroom, come back. And then like, because I wasn't leaving the house, I wasn't taking like a shower all that frequently. Like I call that time of my life the dark ages.
Okay.
Right. And I didn't have to cook anything because Manhattan. So like my now husband didn't even know how to turn on his oven in his house.
Oh, really? Not exaggerating?
Nope. I'm not exaggerating because my parents came over. I tried to make lasagna. I put it in the oven thinking that I had turned the oven on and it did not cook. And we were like, what's going on? And then I was like, hey, you want to look at the oven? And he's like, I don't know how to turn that on. I was like, okay, cool. That's where we're at. And he'd been living in that apartment for 2 years.
Oh my fucking God.
So like people don't like, you don't cook.
I mean, it is New York. Let's be honest. Like it's probably, I got to assume it's probably the food mecca of the world. I may be wrong on that, but damn it, it's got to be fucking close if it isn't.
And you could get like anything delivered at 3 a.m.
Oh man.
In 20 minutes.
I'd be fucked up if I lived in New York, dude.
Right? So like that was also a thing, right? Yeah, like I was sleeping weird. Like it was a mess. And then I had gotten so big that me and I'm just gonna call him now husband, couldn't do stuff. And I remember at one time he had come up to me and was just like, I would really like to do stuff with you. And I can't do
Wink?
stuff. Like, no, like just actual, like, go to the movies.
Okay.
Or like I asked him to make it Facebook official because this was 11 years ago.
Right.
In Times Square's Madame Tussauds. Which is like the most touristy fucking shit we could have ever done.
Is that the fucking wax place?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Where you take photos with like all the wax figures.
Yeah. Oh my God. What is fucking status? It's complicated. Like what the fuck?
But like we did that. We were like, all right, like let's make it Facebook official because it'll say in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And like I asked him that in Madame Tussauds, and like flash forward 6 months from then, and I can't leave the apartment.
Okay. So your biggest was 540.
Yes.
Fair to say, and again, I've got this level of comfort with you. 540 is fucking big.
Yeah.
Like,
I have
that's
pictures. Do you want to see?
I would
I
love
mean,
to see.
it's not good for like the audio listeners, and you can edit
No,
this part
well,
out.
we'll put clips up. That's fine if you're good with it.
Let's say this is gonna out my favorite sports team, which
Hold on.
having
Let me guess. Let me see if I got you're Long Island. So you are you're Mets and Jets. Is my I think those two go together, right? Mets and Jets.
Sure.
You're so I'm wrong on that one.
Let's
Okay,
say
shit.
that.
We'll say that. You gotta out your fucking favorite team here. So can I while you're pulling that up, you said something earlier, and I think you may have answered one of my questions, but the throwing up, the getting sick, the throwing up more often, was that one of the things that got you to this isn't for me, or was it something else?
No.
You were good
No.
throwing up. That didn't bother you. You're just like, well, fuck it, I'm throwing up more. Okay.
It was my husband telling me he wanted to do stuff with me and crying about it. And getting a cat. And there's a Forbes article about me. And in the Forbes article, because I don't talk about feederism, I say that the cat is what turned my life around. There you go. That's like a before and after, and I'm smaller than I am in that picture.
Okay. So we got, all right. Can I out your team here? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. We got the Niners. Okay.
Forever faithful.
Forever
Bang.
faithful. Okay. The tough loss. I was pulling for you guys. We won't get into that. That's a whole other episode. But Kittle, man, my man tearing his Achilles. I hate that shit. It was so rough to watch. Okay. So this picture here, Niners, that is we're going 540 on that one?
Yep.
Okay. And then I will be honest with you, that other picture, I can tell how fucking tall you are. Holy shit, you're fucking tall. You don't think of I'm 6 foot. Like if somebody's like 5'10", you're like, okay. But it's like seriously 5'10" for a woman's really fucking tall.
Yeah. So you got to think I'm coming up to most of you. That's only 2 inches.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. So okay. So the cat, I got to get the cat.
Marbles.
I love that's a good name. So the cat
he passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. As you know, we just lost our beloved gunner puppy. So we had to reschedule this call because of our dog, and it was a sad day. So I can certainly understand where you're coming from with that one. Your husband wanting to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The cat was like, all right, this is it. Well, first off, hats off to you. Seriously. It's really impressive to be able to just, it's got to be, was it a cold turkey? Like, fuck it, we're doing this? Or was it a little harder than that? Because you've also got the fetish aspect, which you're having to say goodbye to.
So I kind of talked about for me, the fetish aspect. I was like, well, we can like just talk about it. We don't have to like actually do anything. And I was like, I'm still gonna be fat. Like I wasn't expecting to like go into surgery and come out 6 months later and be a size 6. Like I knew that was unrealistic. So because I knew that was unrealistic, I was like, I'm gonna be fat forever. And like I'm okay with that. I just would like to be like not scary fat.
Okay. Were you scary fat? Or do you
at
think
540? Yeah.
Well, you never know. Somebody was like, I guess I got some more to go, but you were like, this is scary fat.
Well, I didn't like having everybody worried about me. Like that was
understandable.
Close to me. They were like, we don't know how long she's gonna be around. When I was 540.
Which would get a lot of people to hopefully, and it doesn't always work, but like, because you seem like a very lovable person. I've got a spot for you in my heart now because I'm like, this girl's fucking awesome, And so I can
Thank you.
imagine the people that have known you longer are just completely in love with you. And where it's like, we don't want to bury you. We don't want you to die.
Yeah.
And that's got to count for something, right? You know? Because I know you love
Yeah,
them back.
And then to know that they lost me because of a fetish. Because, like, I was upfront and honest. Like, I wasn't saying, like, yo, I'm banging this Oscar winner. In like on this trip to New York. Like, I'm not saying that.
You should have fucking said that.
Right? Like, but they knew I was into it. So I think like that was its own part. But I started losing a bunch of weight once I got the sleeve, and like it started coming off like crazy. And it was also the summer Pokemon Go came out.
There you go.
And I was hardcore Team Valor. Like hardcore. Like I had like everything I had was red. I like had patches. I bought stuff off of Etsy that had Team Valor logo on it. I had a hiking backpack that had water. So I could just keep going around Central Park because Manhattan was lit for Pokemon Go. There was lures everywhere. There were people everywhere. There were gyms everywhere. And I have multiple battery packs in my back, like in the backpack with the water. And I would go ham for like 6, 7, 8 hours, just booking it around New York, catching mostly Pidgeys, let's be real. And
I never played fucking Pokemon. I didn't get it. I knew it was a card game. I knew people collected it, and I worked with people that were a few years younger than me, and it was the same thing. Exactly what you're saying. They're like, it's Pokemon Go. I was like, what, like the card game? They're like, no, man.
No.
It's augmented reality. You walk around and you fucking catch them with your phone. And I'm like, I don't understand. And they're like, download it. And I was like, I get it. It's very fucking bizarre, but it was like a weirdly addicting thing. And I remember thinking, do you know how many people were getting off the fucking couch because of this fucking game?
Yep.
And I said people were losing weight playing this fucking shit. And there's you fucking walking around Central Park, which is fucking huge, by the way. Let's start with fucking Central Park. You could probably fit 3 Pittsburghs in Central Park. So you're walking around for 6 or 7 hours catching fucking Squirtle and all that fucking shit. Oh, that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah. And by the end, so that was 2016 because everybody's like posting their 2016 photos now on like.
Why
Instagram
is that? Is that it because it's 10 years?
I get. Well, a lot of people are saying like that was the last good year. Like our Pokemon Go summer, it was when like American culture peaked, and then it's all just been downhill from there.
Since 16? I thought it was like a 10-year thing, and that's why everyone was doing it. Now I got to go look at my pictures. You might be fucking right.
Yeah. It was, Pokemon Go. It was that summer. So it was just running around Manhattan playing Pokemon Go. By the end of the year, I was down to like 350. Then I got down to like 315 and nothing was fucking working. Anything that I had previously been doing was not working.
So you hit the wall. You hit the stall.
I hit the stall hard. And like, we're talking, the food was super clean. I lived in Manhattan, so we're doing like 15,000 steps just the moment we walk out of our freaking apartments. Like, I was on it. And I went to my surgeon and I was like, hey, this is not okay. We need to go sleeve to bypass. And he was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. He's like, you're my most successful patient in terms of excess weight loss. I don't think bypass is going to do anything. I think you're just designed to be 315 and 5'10". Like I'd been for all of high school when I was on marching band and like doing all of this other stuff then too. And I was similar. And I was like, well, fuck you. And I remember getting pissed, almost running down Fifth Avenue, like hitting tourists outside of the Met and going to the gym. And like the gym was my happy place. And the second class I had taken at the Crunch on 34th Street. So shout out to you guys.
Fucking Crunch. That's a great fucking, yeah, I love the name.
Hell yeah. Was a class called Pound, which is rock out workout. It's a hit, so high intensity interval training.
Yep. Which is the best fucking exercise. Let's start with that.
Yep. There's a lot of like research that supports it.
It kicks your
weighted
fucking
drumsticks.
ass.
My weighted drumsticks are like right over there, but you can't see them.
Weighted drumsticks?
Yeah, the weighted drumsticks. They're called
Didn't know
rip
that was
sticks because they get you ripped.
Okay. All right.
And they call it love at first strike. But I took my first pound class and it was like nothing I had ever experienced before. It was just like going to a concert. Like I was just joining a concert and I was playing music, because when you do a pound class, the beats that you hit when you're working out go in time with the music.
Okay.
So you're just making music and like working out too. Like you're getting sweaty, and there's different positions. Some work out like more of your abs, some work out more of your legs, some work out more of your arms, and you don't even care. You're just like, oh, this song is banger. I'm making music. Holy shit, 45 minutes just went by and I burned 800 calories. Okay, I'm doing this every day for the rest of my life. And I remember coming back from the pound class, and I was getting my master's in social work at the time, and being in class and Googling, like, how do I become a pound instructor? And then my pound instructor for that class was a person named Kimmy, shout out. And
what up, Kimmy?
Kimmy entered me into a contest to win a pound pro training, and I won.
Nice.
And then I became a pound instructor, and I've kept my license ever since. It actually renews on February 17th. They just emailed me.
Good for you. So, you know, it's like, man, wow. Respectfully, it's like you hit 540 and you're like, you know what, a fitness instructor, it's a good pathway. You get to that, right? It's turning yourself around, doing it the right way, and putting in the work, because you earned that shit. You earned that shit like a motherfucker, man. Like, there's no way to say that.
Yeah, by becoming level 40 and causing a nightmare to Team Mystic. That's all Pokemon Go references that you're not going to get, and that's fine.
I get some. I knew where you were going with it. Half these fucking listeners won't. God damn it, I know it. What was the hardest part? Would you say hitting that kind of plateau where you stopped losing the weight, or something else?
The hardest part, and this is something I ongoing have a problem with, because just to get like the weight stuff out of the way, and then we can go to the cult stuff.
Yeah.
I found out about a year and a half ago that I have a growth hormone problem.
Okay.
And I probably have had this growth hormone problem my whole life. It's just been mild enough that, and fat phobia being a thing, it was always my responsibility, my weight, and not ever looked into anything more than that. And that kind of like explains why I was 315 and nothing was happening, even though I was doing 6-pound classes a week and running all over Manhattan. Why, like, during the pandemic, me and my husband were eating the same thing, and I gained 100 pounds and he gained like 5. So what ended up happening is that now we've figured out that the problem is a growth hormone problem, and now I'm losing weight to what my body should look like and what I'm doing and eating and doing in terms of activity, that now my body is just reflecting what I'm actually been doing. So now I'm once again losing weight, but not intentionally. It's just kind of like, oh shit, I went down another jean size. Doing the same shit I've been doing for the last, like, what, 7, 8, 10 years at this? Yeah, 10 years at this point.
So you keep it going. What are you down to?
I'm down to 275 at last weigh-in.
Good for you. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you.
Which I've never been in. I haven't been in the 200s since 7th grade.
Good for you.
So I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm wearing a size right now that I have not worn since I was in 6th grade.
Do you know what I love about you is that you never stopped when you hit You're like, I literally can't lose any fucking weight. I hit 315 and everything stopped. But you didn't stop. You kept going.
No. Yeah, I was like, fuck you. And
I
then I
love that
remember just
shit.
being like, I'm getting a second opinion. And I did go sleeve to bypass, and I lost nothing, which is crazy because you can't eat shit when you get bypass. Like, you have to go on like mushy foods. You can't eat for like, you have to be on just liquids for 2 weeks before, and then you have to be on like liquids for a certain part after.
Yeah.
So like the fact that I did that and did not lose a single pound should have given any medical professional working with me like, something's not right.
Do they believe people? That's where that was like where my brain, because and again, I realize it's made for TV, but you watch these shows, the 600-pound lives, these things where people lose weight, and they're like, I'm doing the following, and you look at the doctors and they're like, fuck you, I don't believe a fucking word you say. I'm a doctor. I know you're not doing what you're saying. But these ones, were they able to monitor your efforts to go, no, Melissa's not lying to us. She's telling us the fucking truth. Something's wrong here. And how satisfying was it to find out that you were right, like with the fact that it was a growth hormone?
Well, I mean, none of my doctors in New York, I think, ever tested me for growth hormone, anything. Even when that was going on, it was always like, just go to a nutritionist. And I was like, I've been going to a nutritionist. I've been logging everything I eat. I have an Apple Watch so you could see how much I'm burning. You could see how many steps I'm doing. I don't know what to tell you guys. And like, it's also kind of hard because with my growth hormone thing is it's mild, right? Like it's enough to cause a difference, but not enough to like the main thing is called as acromegaly. Like I don't fit acromegaly definitions because everything's like just a little bit under.
Okay.
So even if they were to test, if you're just looking for the markers that say high, 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 it's not going to have that because I'm 1.9 instead of 2.0.
Okay. So it's like just below the marker.
Yeah, just below the marker. So like once that kind of started getting looked at and they were like, all right, we're going to test this stuff out on you. Now like I'm down, I think like 125 or something like that in the last year from doing nothing. Like I'm doing nothing differently.
Love
I'm
it.
just doing what I've always been doing. And I'm like,
How many classes
right,
you do a week?
cool. Now I don't teach because
Okay.
I'm traveling all over the country. But now I'm not teaching. And also the pound scene in Connecticut's a little bit different.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. So you're not teaching anymore.
I'm not teaching anymore.
You're
But
still
I'm
getting your exercise, moving around.
hauling perfumes across the fucking field every weekend.
What do you mean a fucking field? What, like
because I do like Ren fairs.
I couldn't think of the word. I was gonna say, what, are you going to the fucking Renaissance Festival?
Yep.
No
yep.
shit.
I do Ren fairs all the time. I do like Gothic markets and all of them. Like you have to set up.
You ever do the one in
like
Pittsburgh?
2 hours before. Yeah, I was just. I did Pittsburgh the weekend I emailed you, right?
No, fuck. Are you serious?
And I'm going back to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I'll see you there. We're getting pictures.
Monroeville.
That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the one out in West Newton, I believe it is. So it's in Monroeville.
Yeah, so I do the Gothic market in Monroeville.
Gothic market. When is that?
Keep getting that one confused with Indianapolis. So I'll check my calendar and I'll let you know. It's either I want to say June something. You're going to hear a lot of clicking as I go to June.
That's fine. Click away, sister.
Pittsburgh, June 20th and 21st.
And Monroeville, where at? The convention center? Is that still there?
The convention center, yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I'll definitely stop out and see you. Excellent.
It's going to be a shit show because all of those fairs are always a shit show, but come by and see me.
What is that fair about? Tell me about this fair. I'm just just a quick rundown because I'm thinking Renaissance Festival, which I go to all the fucking time.
Yeah, I do.
Totally different.
Bucks County, Della Fair, Midsummer Fantasy Renaissance Fair, the Viking Experience, and Norse Forge Gathering are my Renaissance fairs.
Okay,
that I do.
Cool. Nice. And then this one is Goth. What do you call this one? The Gothic?
This one's called the Gothic Market.
Gothic
and the
Market.
People who sponsor it are called Grimoire Academy.
Cool.
I love
Very
them.
Cool.
I will do every event that they have that I can go to.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. So does this at all, and does any of this tie into the cult scene? Because now we talked about the pandemic, you're not an instructor, and now like you're into a cult. Like, how did that come to be? And is this part of that, or is that, no, we're not there yet?
Yeah. So basically what happened is right before the pandemic, we made the decision to move to Connecticut. We were living in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn at the time. And we were like, oh, we want to buy a house. Real estate is crazy. We'll move to Connecticut. So we moved to Connecticut March 7th, 2020 is when the movers came.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we know that date.
Husband did his commute 3 times. And then everything shut down. And I went from like having a fuck ton of friends that I would see all the time because they were fitness instructors or they took the class regularly. I was working and like teaching the class. So I had like nothing crazy, but like a per diem job because we knew we were moving. So I didn't get anything like full time. We had like, I had stuff. Then I move and I live in like a townhouse complex.
Okay.
I got to meet one neighbor. One.
That's it. One.
There's 50 townhouses in our complex.
You met one fucking person?
I met one. And you're like in a new place, even like Pokemon Go. We were like, are we, like, can we walk around? Are we supposed to be walking around? We want to explore our neighborhood. Like, we did all this work to, like, buy a house to save up for the down payment. And then we, like, did the move. And, like, what does that look like? And I remember, like, I stopped playing Pokemon Go and started playing Animal Crossing, which means, like, you're just sitting on your couch with your Switch and living it up on an island.
Yep.
And I think, like, so much stuff was kind of, like, taken away from me in terms of, like, community and places for me to kind of, like, find connection.
Do you feel that was just you? Because I feel that way, and I don't think I've ever addressed it.
Oh, I think everybody. I say that the pandemic was the dark ages for everybody.
Yeah.
I just had
100%.
dark ages in 2014, and then I had my dark ages that I had a collective dark ages with everybody.
Do you feel that the relationships that you had, the relationships that you built with these people straight up fucking ended? Because I feel like in my scenario, I feel like it was like, and I will say shout out to Becca, Tone, and Jonna, because we would hang out all the fucking time. And we were friends, and it was just weirdly one of those things where the pandemic put a damper on the things that we did, and it never fucking picked back up. And they were 3 of my favorite fucking people to hang out with. And I feel robbed. I feel like it was fucking taken from me, but we've never addressed it. Like, I'm literally going to send a text tomorrow and say, hey, motherfuckers, I thought of you guys last night. Like, it just stopped. It was like the world fucking stopped, which it did. But I've never addressed it. And I think it hurts inside for probably a lot of us.
Well, Pound allowed you to teach online. So, and not every, like, format allowed teaching online. So I was able to, like, see my friends. And, like, that was cool. But it wasn't the same as making music together, right? Like, I did, during the pandemic, I was working on a PhD in dance and movement therapy for adolescents on the autism spectrum. And I'd done a lot of research about how communal drumming like has a lot of benefits for people. Just like period. It's why we've been doing it for thousands of years of human history, right? And when you have that communal drumming where we're all fucking working out in a group fitness class in the Upper East Side, and then that kind of gets taken away from you and you're doing it on Zoom in your living room by yourself.
Yeah.
It looks a lot different and it is not the same.
It didn't translate. Nothing translated. Comedians were releasing albums and shit via fucking Zoom, and it was like, no.
I went to Zoom concerts where like it's just the guy playing on the piano and like on a mic, and I was like, it's not the same. Like, you're trying to make the best of it, and like kudos, like we were absolutely trying to make the best of it, but pretending like everything is okay is not it.
You know what would have been good at that time? Feederism, because you had the online aspect. Did any part of you want to go, you know what? We'll get back into that.
I'm already binge eating, cookies because the world is on fire, and I just decided to sign a 30-year mortgage right before now the world is ending. Cool.
Yeah, good call.
But I ended up going online and I was taking like a ton of classes. I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to like work on myself. I'm going to learn to meditate, and I'm going to like get in touch with everything. And I was doing all of that shit. And I was taking a lot of classes through Catland, which was a witch shop in Brooklyn. And there was a teacher there named Lux. I have zero problem saying actual names for the cold people.
That works for me.
Whereas I'm like, an Oscar-winning actor, but
shout out Lux.
But yeah, so a teacher named Lux was teaching Norse magic and how it's like a little bit different than some other types of magic. And a lot of it was stuff I was already doing. So I was like, all right, well, can you teach this particular type of Norse magic, which is called spa? And the way I describe spa is you're driving, right? And I'm sure this happens in Pittsburgh because I've been there. And drivers are not great everywhere.
They're particularly fucking awful in Pittsburgh.
Okay. So you see a person going really fast in your rearview mirror and weaving between traffic.
Yes.
You see that he's next to you. You can kind of anticipate that he will cut you off.
Yes.
And you may have to slam on your brakes.
Yes.
So maybe you go a little bit slower because you don't want to hit someone.
Correct.
That is spa. Okay. Because you can kind of predict the future by observing patterns. Now,
so if I go to punch you in the face and you see my arm come back, naturally the future in a way predicting, like, my arm will come forward and then you can anticipate. So it's like the concept, right? Am I getting that?
Think of it like
I don't want to punch you in the face, by the way. You're
bring it on.
Sitting in
I have
front
a
of me.
very punchable face. If I'm in Scandinavia at the time of the Vikings, right? I know winter's going to be hard. If I've observed enough winters to know that it's 5 moon cycles, I know to make our grain last for 125 days. Right? Okay. And then when spring comes and we can plant things again and nobody died of starvation, I've worked magic.
I like where you're going with that. So you had me at I predict the future because I am in fact a very defensive driver. I can see assholes coming a mile away and I anticipate their move and I will literally say, watch this fucker cut me off, and they do it. I'm a fucking magician.
Yeah. That is literally the art of spa. The art of spa is observing behavior.
SPA spa?
Yeah.
Fuck.
A with like the little line.
Dude, I knew I was fucking awesome, man.
But that is spa. Spa is being able to observe behavior, observe trends, observe patterns in order to predict the future. Is it correct 100% of the time? No, but you can absolutely make an educated guess and save your ass.
So let me ask you this. Is it magic? Right? Am I saying it right? Magic?
I mean, there's a lot of people who would say that is magic.
Okay. What do you
If-
call it? What's the word you use? Predicting the future? You say magic?
I just call it spa. Like, to me, I'm just like, yeah. I think, like, now we have different connotations of it because everything's kind of like science backed or whatever.
Okay.
And we want to not believe in magic the same way that people who didn't have access to the internet, right, may have
Right.
looked at magic. So I think kind of now we can look at it as like logic or applied reasoning or something like that. But it's still, at the end of the day, predicting the future.
I like you. Because I do. I am super special. I knew I was. Before this call, you've only fucking encouraged me to look into this more. But here's the thing.
You're a wizard, Paddy.
I'm a... That's a good accent. He's a little wizard. So we play a game when we drive. I touched on it on this show before, which is fucking guess the race and or sex of the person that we're going to be coming up on. Because listen, joking, of course, but like you've got certain folks that may be stereotyped as bad drivers and so on. And it's amazing how accurate you can be. Like I can go, I was literally once, I said, there's going to be a fucking Karen in this fucking car and that bitch is on her cell phone. And sure enough, you pass her and you go, there it is. I was fucking right. It was spa the whole time, right?
Yep. I do it now with my perfume company all the time. I'm like, okay, I've seen who buys this perfume. So when another person comes in matching a similar description and they're like, oh, what do you think? Like, what's my vibe? I'm like, oh, you're a scrying mirror for sure. Because I've seen 5 other people that have similar characteristics to you who all walked away from my booth buying scrying mirror. So I could be like, yep.
And do you know
observing
how...
the patterns in order to predict the future.
Yeah, and do you know how I now know that this is 100% accurate? Because one of my questions that I'm going to ask her, and I swear to God, is, and we'll get to that, but can you look at me and tell me the fragrance that works best for me?
The Knave.
She did it. What is it called?
The Knave. It's the one inspired by Loki. It's everything Loki likes as offerings. So it's cinnamon, bourbon, apple. I clearly have not done a fair for a while because I take off for January. Yeah, apple, cinnamon, bourbon, dragon's blood. There's a bunch of stuff. Basically, everything Loki likes is in one scent.
Will that give me...
coffee and chocolate. That's the other ones that I'm missing.
You know me. Those things, I like every one of those. So...
Yeah.
Wow. So do these increase my powers since I now know that I am capable of such great things?
I mean, we already know you're a wizard, Paddy, so.
Thank you. A little wizard, Paddy. All right. So, cult.
Yeah.
Just to kind of fill me in on the path to that from fitness instructor before we get into too much of the fragrance, because I just... And do they tie together? Because I can see cultist and fragrance tying together, because there's definitely a connection there.
1,000%, yes.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, I started taking classes with Lux. They started out at $80, they went to $90 dollars a week.
Oh, I was going to ask what that meant. Okay,
straight
gotcha.
out of my straight out of my checking account and into hers. And after about 2 years of working with her every single week, she said, hey, I'm doing this retreat with the other spa students. We're all getting like an Airbnb. We're going to go and we're going to practice another type of Norse magic called Seith, which is it's also known as trance magic. I didn't really have any idea of what Seith was about because she kind of kept it really hush-hush. She said it had to be in person. It wasn't something she could teach over the internet. So I was like, all right, like, screw it. So I took off from work for 2 days, like on a Friday and a Monday, and I drove to a random-ass Airbnb in upstate New York. And we entered in silence because apparently that's what the Volar, which is multiple of the Norse witches who practiced Save, because everything had to be like the old school Norse language. What the Voller would do was they would go in silent. So we went into the Airbnb completely silent until she rang a bell, and we were supposed to observe the house and kind of like the vibes that we felt from the different rooms in the house. We were like, each room was labeled, so we could just kind of like put our shit in the room that had the sticker on the door. And then we kind of like got the vibes.
Okay.
And we had dinner of some kind of like rice something and chicken hearts, which was a traditional Voller meal, according to Lux. And then the next day, we did save. Jade, which was one of the other girls in the group, went first, and it didn't work out. And then for me, she's like, okay, I'm going to put henbane on this coal with some juniper resin, and then we're just going to like inhale it. And I was like, all right, sure. I'm totally fine with it. And for save, what I will say is that a voice that came out of my mouth that was not mine. And
what is save? I want to make sure I understand.
Save
this.
is the trance magic.
Okay.
So basically what happens is you go down into your spine, is how Lux taught it. And you are then just kind of like an empty vessel where you can like summon a deity to use your body to talk. So you can have conversations with gods,
okay,
basically. But a voice came out of my mouth that was absolutely not mine, and new answers to questions. So the first question that was always asked during a safe session was what Lux called a verification question. So it was something that the god would know, but the horse wouldn't. So the horse is the person who goes down into their spine, who's being used as the vessel.
Okay.
And the vessel, right, wouldn't know, right? So it's going to be something like, what's the color of the candle that I always keep on my Freya altar? Right?
And it's obviously purple.
It's pink. God, it's Freya.
I was testing my magic skills.
But like, that's like the sort of thing that like I, as a person who's never been to Lux's apartment, I would not know, right? I don't know if hers is actually pink. I know the one on mine is pink. So I think like for that is a lot. When I know the answer to something, like there was one that I did where I was horsing Loki, and the verification question was, what did I have for breakfast? And I saw a bowl of Fruit Loops, and I remember saying bowl cereal Fruit Loops, and Jade was like, holy shit. And like, how the fuck would I have known what she, like, the specific cereal she had for breakfast, right? And I think, and towards the end there, some of the verification questions, if I knew, the god would narc on me and just be like, horse nose, different question. And you're like, fuck her, just like let this ride. Like,
that's awesome.
Like, there were a few times where like they'd be like, horse nose, and that just meant like pick a different one, because like the horse knows the answer, so just like give me another. And you're like, god damn it. So that was a thing that happened. So that was this like one weekend. And to make my education story very short, when I got up to writing my dissertation for the movement therapy PhD, I found out that the school doesn't approve anything for working with anybody under the age of 18. And I was like, you assholes, I applied to this program knowing what I wanted my dissertation to be, and now you want to tell me 2 years into this fucking program? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna like make this pivot. During the pandemic, I also got really into cults, just like in general. The Vow came out. I was obsessed. I watched all of the cult documentaries. And instead of thinking like, oh, this could never happen to me, I was like, oh no, this could absolutely the fuck happen to me. I want to research more about this. So I started doing a second master's focusing on forensic psychology in victimology so that I could work exclusively with cults survivors. And after our first Faith session, Lux was like, now we've got paid gigs and we're going to North Carolina and we've got Vermont and like we're doing stuff with Save. And like people want to talk to gods and they're willing to pay us to talk to gods. So like, I see that you're getting burnt out. So why don't you just like stop your second master's? And I was like, yeah, like, I mean, it seems like it. Like we have all this stuff lined up. Like, how am I going to do all of this while working full time while doing everything else? So I stopped working on my degree in cult studies. Because of my cult leader, which, looking back, good time. And I didn't find out until we had already done like a ton of safe sessions that henbane can kill you. It slows your heart. And the way
is
that
it an
Lux
herb? What is it? What is?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's like a poisonous plant, but yeah, it's just like a.
And what are we doing? Smoking it, or it's burning near you, or what?
Yeah, it was on incense with juniper resin. So I would just kind of like inhale it like this and just kind of inhale the smoke. And then there'd be a lot of like chanting and magic. And then I'm gone. And somebody else is using not even my voice, but my body to speak. Because the voice was never me.
So I feel like you're about to say, and that is when my days in the cult stopped because somebody was trying to fucking poison me.
No. I still stared.
I was going to say you had me at henbane, but no, you stayed with it.
Still stay, because you're talking to gods. Or at least you believe that you're talking to gods, right? Well, so like, how badass
I gotcha.
am I that I am the most powerful of all witches, that I know Fruit Loops?
You did know Fruit Loops, and you know at this point, henbane, it's like, this is fucking bad. This is poison. It's slowing my heart down.
Don't fuck with it. Yeah. I mean, I'd still probably fuck with it because I am me and I am a YOLO and I am that kind of a bitch. Just like, hey, experiences are experiences.
They are experiences. They make us who we are. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. I was like, of all of the states I've been to, my favorite is Wyoming. Right? And because it's like, whose favorite state is Wyoming? And I think like,
probably anyone that's ever been to fucking Wyoming. I feel like Wyoming would be a kick-ass state.
Wyoming is so kick-ass.
Yeah, I feel like it would be. A buddy of mine goes hunting there, and he's just like, it's the landscape is amazing. It's beautiful, just perfect. Okay,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Especially like, I just find it funny that my favorite state that I've been to is Wyoming, but I changed my social security card when I got married, going through Times Square, where people were like having their bucket list item of being on Good Morning America.
Those so, fuckers like, in the background with the sign.
Yep. Like I passed them doing an errand. And I think like that's kind of the dichotomy of life, is that like I would regularly see the Rockefeller tree and be like, all right, it's a tree. And like people like make it their entire, like, I used to do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade when I lived in New York all the time. And one year I was next to someone who, it was like her 60th birthday. She'd always watched the parade. Her like big thing that she always wanted to do was like see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And like, I was like, oh yeah, this is like my third time coming. And she was like, what?
Like, really? It's you New York folks are wired different. There's so much going on in New York that people see. Like when I went to New York, I've been there once. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the food. I enjoyed being there and seeing it, just the scale of it. But it was like, it's not my tempo. It was a lot more fast paced than I'm used to. It was a place to visit. Nowhere I'd want to live. Not a knock. Just not my vibe, but the infatuation that people have with New York that aren't from New York is there's a lot of things like the fucking tree, the fucking parade. Like they want to go to New York and stand outside and wave a sign on those things have never resonated with me, where I'm like if somebody's like, I'm here for the first time, oh my God, fucking Matt Lauer or whatever his name is, he's going to fucking turn around and look at me. Like, I feel like I would throw coffee on that person. I'd be like, you're an asshole. Why is that your fucking dream? But who am I to shit on somebody's dream? But at the same time, it's like, really? This is just, they're fucking filming in there and you just need to stand back here with a sign. You were probably so used to that being from New York where you're like, why?
They used to film on my street. So when I was 540 pounds and I was living in a tiny ass apartment, they would film Power on my street all the time.
Power. Was that the 50 Cent thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you ever in an episode?
No, I didn't leave my apartment.
Well, go outside. Fucking fitties out there, son. Come on.
Okay. No. Absolutely not. They also filmed, then I moved from that apartment, the 400, and then I moved to 650 square feet, moving on up.
Yeah.
And they had a reality show that filmed on that street all the time. So there would be like, you'd go out and you'd be like, fuck, there's trailers everywhere you go.
What's the reality show?
I didn't care that much.
See,
but that point in
that's the
time, I
thing.
was
Like,
so jaded.
Yeah, if somebody
like,
fucking was like, they're filming something up the street, I'd know every fucking detail. I'm like, oh my God, fucking Walter Matthau's up the street. And, you know, you're just so used to that shit in New York. You guys are so
walk
blind.
Through movie sets. Yeah, regularly walk through movie sets, catching Pokemon, and just being like, fuck you, I don't care. Yell at me, PA.
Fuck you, Val Kilmer. Fucking Squirtle was over here. I needed to get him. Oh my.
The only time I cared was when they were filming Doctor Strange, because I am a Cumberbitch, and I really wanted to see Benedict Cumberbatch in real life.
Hold on. You know what? I have to look this up. I think that me and him share a birthday. Hold on. Let's see. Yep. July 19th. I knew it.
That's my dad's birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How about that? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, boy.
I'm no contact with my dad. But
fuck him. That's what I'm talking about, right? fuck that birthday and fuck Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay.
No, I mean, fuck Benedict Cumberbatch, not the Oscar-winning actor I was with, but like, you know.
Now, okay, so this is your guy here. This is it like you mentioned him. What'd you call him, a Cumberbitch? You said I'm a Cumberbitch?
Cumberbitch. People who are like women who are obsessed with Benedict Cumberbatch or Cumberbitches.
What are you obsessed with about him?
It's not Benedict Cumberbatch. Now that he's been in more things than just Sherlock, it's Sherlock with curly hair that like does things for me.
Okay.
Because I've seen him in other shit and I'm like, yeah, I could take or leave him.
His role in 12 Years a Slave didn't do it for you?
Absolutely not. But yeah, it's Sherlock that does things for me, which says a lot about who I am as a person.
All right, Sherlock Holmes with the curls.
Yeah.
All right.
So, cult stuff. We're doing all these quote-unquote paid gigs. One of them was not paid at all. One of them, I got $90. I don't know if it was $90 or, like, it was definitely sub $1.20.
Okay.
And that did not even cover gas to Vermont. And after like all of the events and then like being in like, we went to North Carolina, we're on the beach, there's all this stuff happening, and I call it bukkake. So it's
my favorite.
We're on the E because it's not luck saying you need to quit your job, right? It's, don't you understand that this is a sign that you need to quit your job? And like the tarot cards are saying that you need to quit your job. And the runes are saying you need to quit your job. And don't you understand that you're burnt out? And that your husband doesn't want you to work. So it's like, it's coming at me from all different angles all of the time. So when I came back from one of the quote unquote paid gigs, I did quit my job as an adolescent therapist.
Okay.
And then I was like, all right, well, I know I don't do well not working and not having something to do. Like, I have evidence of this, of dark ages and pandemics, so I would like
Right.
to do
It's not your
something.
thing.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna like do this deep clutter of my house. I'm gonna get this dog. I'm gonna like do all of this stuff. And I got the dog, and Lux was like, I'm gonna pull the runes about the dog. And she's like, the dog would be happier with someone else. You should get rid of the dog. And you're already overwhelmed. So get rid of everything. Like, that was the thing. Get rid of the job, get rid of the master's program, get rid of the dog. Like, everything was get rid of everything, and not that my overworking problem was the cult.
I was going to say, do you see the trend at this point? Because that is that's how they all work. It is that you're left with nothing except the cult. That's kind of the play, right?
Yeah. Well, I still have the dog. He may bark at some point. But
No, but I
still,
mean,
yeah.
but you, at what point did you pick up on what was going down? Like when you're on the outside looking in, right? If I watch a documentary on a cult, I go, how did these people not pick up on this? And you're like, well, duh, because they're part of the cult. You hear terms like brainwashed and, so.
I think in my personal experience, it made sense, right? It wasn't like coming out of nowhere, right? The Stephen Hassan has the bite model, and that's what a lot of academics use to kind of define cults. Are you getting behavior, information, thought, and emotional control, right? And that's what each of the letters in bite stands for. And I kept getting from Lux that I was quote unquote burnt out, right? So because I have a husband who works in finance, because that did not have to do with the findom. He's not into findom. In case my mother-in-law listens to this, not into findom.
That's so good.
Just into feederism.
Just so you know.
Just so that we're clear.
He fed me 20s.
Yeah, right. No, it's the ice cream with like the gold leaf on it. That was it.
Oh,
actually.
Nice.
Anyway. But like it makes sense. It's not coming out of nowhere, right? And I think like that's what I think is hard for people is it's always like, well, your husband doesn't want you to work, because that was a big thing. Is like my husband really wanted me, because I kept getting COVID from life, or getting sick because I was around kids all the time, right? And he didn't like that because he didn't really get sick prior to me working with children. So like there was a lot of that where it was like, well, why are you working? Why are you going after a second master's? You don't need the second master's. Why do the second master's? So like it's not coming out of anywhere. The other aspect, particularly with my cult, is that those 2 years where I was meeting with Lux every week, that section of like the spa training was all about yourself. So during that whole section, I'm disclosing a ton of information about myself.
Right.
And if I'm not disclosing that information, then I'm fighting the training. Right? So now Lux knows from those first 2 years of meeting with me every single week exactly which buttons she can push.
Absolutely.
And like what buttons I'm going to respond to, because she's been kind of planting the seeds for 2 years before we've even met up in real life. And I think like when people like look at cult survivors,
say that again. What did you say?
Survivors.
Survivors.
We're not survivors. We're survivors.
I like that. That's a good one. I like it.
But when they look at culture thrivers, they're not looking at the, like, a lot of times it's like, okay, it's brainwashing, it's this. It's like, no, we're just following a line of logic that, like, is rooted in reality, right? Like, being a social worker for teens sucks, okay? Because there's a lot that you want to do with these kids that you can't do because they're not full adults,
Right.
right? And they're at a stage in their life where they're noticing, hey, I don't want to live like this, but I also have to live with my parents who don't support that I'm gay, that I'm trans, that I have different beliefs than they do, that I want a different life than what they told me to. And I have to kind of say, suck it up, buttercup, until you're 18.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all
Because I
we've all
also have
been
to
there,
keep the
right?
parents on the good side. Because if the parents are pissed at me, they're going to take the kid out of the program. And the fact that this kid, not all of my kids, but a lot of my kids came to our program after having a suicide attempt. I want to keep this kid alive. Right? So you're in this, like, weird position. Like, yeah, I'm going to come home and cry sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, that doesn't mean that I hate my job or that I'm burnt out. That means I give a shit.
Absolutely. You're taking on a lot. You are taking on everyone's pain. Like
And, like,
it's
sometimes
natural.
all it takes is just, a 5-minute cry in my driveway and then going home and holding my cat. And then I can suck it up and do it all again tomorrow. But, like, for people on the out, like, I was trained in, like, I was okay with having my driveway cry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but, like, other people looking from the outside looking in would be like, that's not okay. And I'm like, well, fuck you.
It's always
um,
okay.
but that's, like, the thing that, like, she would see that part and be like, why are you doing this? Especially when I have a husband who can financially support me. And I'm kind of just working because I like to work and I like having something to do. So she was like, why are you doing this? And I think, too, for a lot of people who don't have a lot of money and have always had to work for what they own, they don't understand that some people who have money just want to work because the shit's boring.
It gives you purpose. You have, a lot of people need
Yeah,
something to do.
it's why I got the dog, because I knew I'd have to wake up every morning, because if I didn't, he'd pee inside my house. Right? Like, I knew that that's the kind of person that I am. Like, I need to have a reason to wake up in the morning or else I'm going to get depressed.
Yeah.
Um, so what ended up happening is all of the girls in the group had a business, like a side hustle, Etsy type thing.
Okay.
I was the only one who didn't. And that was, like, a big thing of contention. Because I didn't have a thing. My podcast co-host on Sillage and Sorcery, who I knew through Catland, had a perfume company. I was constantly being like, hey, B, you should make a perfume like this. B, you should make a perfume like this. And B would be like, Melissa, just fucking make your own perfume. Like, why are you giving me all these ideas? Do it yourself. And between, like, B telling me and then Lux and the rest of the cult wanted me to make something, they kept telling me, just make a perfume company. Make a perfume company. Don't you see that this is a sign that you should be having a perfume company? So I started Sif Sniffs, which is my perfume company. And I very quickly was miserable.
Okay.
I think Lux's motivation was if we were all financially dependent on the cults, right? Because we're all making things and we were all getting booths together and we were all doing events together. That if I was financially dependent on the cult, I would stay in the cult. But then forgetting that you had me quit my job 4 months ago because I didn't need money. So whatever.
Right.
So I had this perfume company. I was miserable. And I remember reaching out to Sif, who's my mom, because Sifjardóttir literally translates to daughter of Sif. And she was like, I'm going to be with you whatever you do. And I'm here for you. and I want you to be happy. And I remember just being like, I'm leaving. And I waited until our like week-long or weekly session, and I was like, Lux, I'm done. I'm done. Now, did not realize I was in a cult, just was tired. I was tired of dealing with all of this.
You didn't realize at this point you were?
No.
How did she
I was
respond
just
to
like,
that?
I'm getting out of Dodge. She cried a lot because this was not the first time I had said that I wanted to leave.
Right.
Right. But previously I had something that she could blame me wanting to leave on. Right. Like when I was doing the master's program, it was the master's program. Then it was the job. Then it was like, there were so many things that once, if I wanted to leave, it was, you only want to leave because you're quote unquote burnt out. That's why I hate the term burnout, because I'm not a burnout kind of a bitch. I'm just a do everything all the time kind of a bitch.
Do you think she would have eventually tried to get you to leave your husband?
No, because that's where the money came from. She very frequently, anytime I fought with my husband, would be like, don't leave him. You're an idiot if you leave him. Because I think she knew that she was getting paid by him. So if I left him, how would I pay for her?
Good point. Well, she's got a cush little gig there, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah, because she's getting $90 a week from, at a minimum, 3 students.
Fuck.
So that was $360 for me alone, right? And that's if there's 4 Tuesdays in a month. If there's 5 Tuesdays in a month, you're damn sure that, like, the first, she's sliding into your DMs on Instagram and saying, friendly reminder, there's 5 Tuesdays this month, so make sure to add an additional $90.
I need a gig like that. What fucking you're gonna help me out with this? We're gonna start our own cult.
You know what?
She's like,
I
fuck
probably
you.
could, and I'm like, real good on that.
Oh fuck. Well, perfumes and fragrances sounds a fucking hell of a lot better than that shit.
Well, what happened is then I started kind of like saying like, oh, this is what was going on, because we had a vow of silence when we were in the cult. Like we couldn't even talk to each other about our weekly sessions with Lux. And I remember just being like, fuck this noise. I'm like, now that I'm out, like, because I'm a YOLO ass, gonna do whatever the fuck, no filter kind of a person, I was like, this was going on and this was going on, and I was snorting henbane, but like then found out it could kill me. And like there was this whole thing with tattoo needles and a bonfire that I didn't even get into, but that's a whole other thing, right? Like it got twisted, right? And then when I would say this stuff to people and they'd be like, you were in a cult. And I'm like, it was just like a really intense coven.
Now we were friends.
Yeah. The first podcast I actually did where I like told my story, at the end, the host is just like, so I'm going to give you a description of like what a cult has. So I'm going to have you check things you covered in the last like 3 hours we've been talking. And I was like, yep. And I was like, God damn it, I was in a cult.
Like, motherfucker, this checks out.
Motherfucker. So it was like, it was just like a group that got weird for like 6 months afterwards. Sometimes I would use the C word. But what ended up happening,
that's where we draw the line right there, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I was like, maybe it was a little culty, but it wasn't a cult.
Oh, I was thinking a different C word. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's the good one. That's the one that we talked about in the sex fetish.
Yeah.
Different time of my life.
Oh my God.
And then, so during that time I had this perfume company and I was like, oh, I'm just going to get rid. And this is a very common experience as a person who studied cult survivors. I was like, all right, I'm going to get rid of anything associated with the cults. Like, I'm not going to go by Sifjardóttir. I'm going to get rid of all my altars. I don't need any of these books anymore. Like, fuck it. And since I started the perfume company in the cults, I was like, Maggie is my little sister. I was like, all right, Mag, you're gonna like take this over. And she's like, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to like do events with you and shoot the shit in like a tent outside. Um, and I was like, fuck. Like at this point in time, I had gotten like fairly regular customers. I had a lot of people that really liked my brand. And then I was like, all right, let me just like try and see what happens if I go balls to the wall on this fragrance company. And it took off like wildfire. So it started in May of 2024, and we've already hit over 100K in revenue.
Fantastic.
We not this month because we kind of like took it off from doing events and stuff. But we started hitting 10K a month in July of last year. And now this thing is like really big. And I'm upfront and honest where I'm like, people will see me at like a witch market and they'll be like, how did you get perfumery? That's like a little different. Usually it's like jewelry or, you know, gems
You got your little
or
niche.
something
You
like
got
that.
your little niche thing there.
And yeah, and I'll be like the only perfumer and people will be like, how did you get into perfumery? And I'm like, oh, I was in a cult. And they're like, hold up. And I'm like, you'll get my information when you make a purchase. I have a website. Just go on some of the podcast appearances. I talk about it. It was a witch cult. I started it in a cult. And I'll just be like, all right, now I have to buy because I want to know what the fuck happened. Yeah. And now that's kind of my life. I go all around the country selling perfume. I do great in the Midwest. The state that I have the most sales per capita is the state of Utah, which I don't know why Utah loves me so much, but I love Utah.
I fucking bet your ass you do. Now I have a question. Is because the perfume started in the cult and then we talk witch and we talk these things, do the folks that tend to buy these, are they always associated with stuff like that? Or
No.
okay. And how does somebody that's not associated with that find your product?
I mean, I'm sifsniffs.com.
Well, we know that. Come on, sifsniffs.com.
Use code Paddy15 for 15% off your purchase.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. I love it.
But yeah, I will say, like, I do a lot of events. Some of them are more like alternative leaning, but okay. I do Ren fairs all the time. I do like some that are specifically Viking. I do occasionally do stuff like I do horror cons a lot. I'll occasionally do like a craft show. But I find I don't do that well at craft shows. I also used to do street fairs in New York for a little bit last year to kind of test out and see how that went. And that didn't do particularly well. So I'm going to go to where the money is. And the witches, the goths, the nerds, they love me. And I love them right back. And also, the big thing for my brand, and it's something that I was very big on creating when I created the brand, was making everything at a price point that was accessible and using clean ingredients. Like, it started because I had a fuck ton of essential oils that I wasn't getting rid of, and Lux was like, just use those essential oils to make perfume. And I was like, perfumery doesn't exactly work that way. Yeah. But I see where you're going. So I use everything's paraben and phthalate free. Nothing's been tested on animals. It's all been tested on me. Like, I literally have 2 things right in front of me that I'm testing to make sure like it's safe and I'm not getting a rash from it and it smells good. So I use clean ingredients, but I'm also at a price point that's cheaper than almost everything in Ulta, everything in Sephora, and only slightly more expensive than Bath and Body Works.
Are you combining all the ingredients? Like, do you make everything yourself?
Hell yeah, like right over there. Like, wow, you can't see it,
dude.
But I make everything right now in my basement because once I hit $1 million in revenue, then I have to get like a commercial cosmetic lab. But right now, my basement fits almost all of the criteria for a cosmetic lab in the state of Connecticut. The only thing I don't have down here is the sink. But everything else, I make everything. I bottle everything. I do have an employee who does like labeling and the boxing and stuff like that. But pretty much every order, I write a note unless I'm not home and then my husband does it. But yeah, I develop every fragrance myself. I formulate every fragrance myself. All the scents are unique to my brand. Nothing's a dupe. There is one that's like kind of a dupe, but I didn't
Sounds like my
realize
daughter,
that.
the dupe. I'm learning about dupes.
Yeah, one thing is like a dupe, but I didn't do that on purpose. It's more of like if you get enough monkeys on typewriters, one of them's gonna quote Shakespeare. It's one of those.
Such a great saying.
Like I was just like, oh, I'm
fuck.
gonna put like this, and this, and then I was in Sephora once, and I was like, oh, this smells exactly the same, and you're paying like I think it was $185 for a 1.7 ounce. My brand is $50 for a 1.7 ounce.
Can you go into can you grab a random fragrance, smell it, and pretty much tell what's in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not exactly, but
close.
like, but close. Yeah.
Okay. And so you've got this brand, you've got this perfume. I keep hearing perfume. Obviously I would say cologne, right? Is there something that I would wear?
I generally say fine fragrance, and all of our boxes say fine fragrance, because my first fair, I made a scent called Freya's Kiss that I thought was like super girly. First bottle went to the dude. Then I made a scent called Thor's Day, and I was like, all right, it's like smoke, leather, rum. Like, I was like, all right, I'm just putting like, it's going to be super masculine. First bottle went to a girl, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. And I will say all of my scents have been bought by everything. I also have a higher percentage of male customers than most fragrance companies that aren't like exclusively male.
Really?
But that could be because I'm hot in real life.
Yeah,
and when people buy from me at the fair.
Of course. That's why I'm buying from you. So I want what you told me about. I want to see. Now you look at me and you say, this is the fragrance for you.
You're either the Knave or Thor's Day.
Now, will I also think it's the fragrance for me? That's the key.
That's why I have testers.
And you're confident. You're confident.
Yeah, I have testers. I also have like sample kits. Like I have a ton of stuff online that like, and the price investment is a lot lower. Like if you buy, say, a tester or like a travel size for me, travel size is gonna run you $25, right? And it's 50% bigger than standard travel sizes because they're 10 milliliters minus 15 milliliters. But if you buy a travel size from me, you're only spending $25. You're not spending $100, $300. Like some of these fragrances are absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, that's okay. You could probably regift it to someone and they will like it. But you get the idea, right?
I get the idea.
If you don't like it, the cost of investment is a lot lower than buying a bottle of John Bravados.
Absolutely.
Or Dio Sauvage.
Do you know what I struggle with? I'm going to say this about like when I took my daughter to Ulta. She's just getting into the fragrances, and I'm going to buy something for her from you. I don't know how to describe what I want. And the closest I've ever been to being able to say is like, if you remember like the original like Burberry scent, where it was like a clean, I don't want to say baby powder, but just a softer, not a lot of spice.
You're Thor's Day.
Yeah,
I guess not Thor's Day. Hangman. You're Hangman.
Okay.
Hangman is bergamot, vetiver, shaving cream accord.
That smell always sat well with me, where it's just because it's. I had a friend that wore something.
It's also our number one top seller since we launched it.
Really?
Hangman.
How about that?
So yeah, if you got Hangman, it's my ode to Odin, right? So it's everything. Like I was like, hey Odin, what do you want? And he was like, vetiver. Because I still have, and I think like I'm not talking to him the same way of like taking drugs and talking to him, but it's like listening to that like inner tuition and just kind of like having a moment of silence where you allow yourself to be receptive. And in that moment, he was like, vetiver. So I was like, all right, I know vetiver. I want shaving cream because he always has a beard, right? So I thought it would be like
Uh-huh.
funny to have shaving cream accord. And that I had to make myself as the shaving cream accord. Um, so like Hangman. And then he hangs himself from Yggdrasil. And I always have a tarot card in every collection.
Sold. I'm in. I'm super excited. I'm going to buy this. I feel like I'm going to love that one, but I'm going to look at your site. We'll check it out. And like I tell everyone this, anytime somebody comes on product, a podcast, anything at all, it's for you. It's not, I love talking with you. That part's for me, but you being here is for you and for everyone else. It's right about getting your name out, getting your brand out, and so on. So again, you magically steal, because you can predict the future, all of my questions. I was going to say, like, why is Sif Sniffs the go-to place for fragrance? I think clean is good. I think a lot more people are starting to get into that. I think a lot more people are realizing that we have been fucked over by these companies that don't give a shit what they put into their products. Fucking rashes, breaking out, long-term fucking cognitive fucking effects. Like, oh, you were inhaling that shit the whole time? No wonder you're fucked up.
So many of my customers buy exclusively from me because I'm the only perfume brand that doesn't give them a headache.
Which a lot do. And that was kind of where I went with when I tried to describe the smell. I want to say a friend of mine that I was always with, he had like I think it was the green polo.
Green Irish tweed? Oh, no.
I want to say it was the green polo with the gold lid, and it was so fucking fragrant, and there was so much spice to it that anytime I saw him, I was like, I'm going to get a fucking headache. Now that's just me. I'm just speaking for myself, but a lot of people do. They get headaches because it's so overwhelming to just be crushed with a scent, where maybe something cleaner is good, a little more subtle for some folks. And you've got a ton of options from what I've seen, right?
Mm-hmm. We've got 22 fragrances right now.
How do you come up with them?
It's a little bit of magic. It's
Just
a little bit of like,
experimentation, a little magic.
A little bit of experimentation, a little bit of magic. So to use Hangman as a good example, right? I knew I wanted to make a scent dedicated to Odin. I know I wanted vetiver because that's what he asked for specifically, right? I also knew from doing a lot of events that customers were asking for bergamot. So I was like, bergamot and vetiver go together. And then I was like, what else goes with it? Shaving cream accord, a little bit of rum for some sweetness, a little bit of lemon to kind of like complement the rest of the citrus and the bergamot. And that one took me like forever to get right. But when I did, I was like, we love this. Chef's kiss. I know it's going to be a top seller. So it's this kind of like understanding how fragrance works, seeing it. When we interview perfumers on Sillage and Sorcery, one of the questions we always ask is, do you see yourself as a scientist or do you see yourself as an artist? And what I always say is that I'm an artist first and a scientist second. Because I have to have, like, the way that I work is I have to have the mood board, right? Like, I have to have, like, this is what I want it to be. And then just kind of, like, figure out how all the pieces work together to make it work.
So in a way, like you're reverse engineering. You have the vision, you know what you want. And you said a mood board? I think I've heard of that.
I mean, I don't actually have a mood board,
okay,
but I know
that's
some
a real
brands
thing, though,
kind
right?
of like work with, like a mood board of like, this is what we're going for. These are the vibes. This is like the aesthetic of what we want. And like, I will have that in my head as I go and I sit on my workstation with my organ. The organ is like your ingredients, right?
Okay.
And usually you have your organ like in front of your workstation so you can just like look and grab and take down so that you can combine stuff.
You must have notebooks filled with like because at that point you're experimenting. You're trying to get the combination right, this percentage of this or the milliliters of this versus the milliliters of that. If I do this too much, it crosses this out. So let's go back. You must have fucking notebooks just.
And then if I do it at this concentration, then I'm, violating IFRA guidelines, which is the International Fragrance Regulatory Association. Like, one of the things I say is, like, on my website, when you go in, it's like not tested on animals, tested on our founder. Because I gave myself a chemical burn. I gave myself a chemical burn with fucking cinnamon essential oil. Because I was like, it's natural. It's not IFRA compliant because it gives chemical burns. So I was like, oh.
I fucked myself up for you people.
It's an essential oil. Like, how bad could it possibly be? And then I spray it on myself and I'm like, I'm burning. This is not okay. And like that's the sort of thing that, like, that is a natural ingredient. It will also give you a chemical burn. It is not IFRA compliant. So, like, I do limit, like, not everything that's natural is great. And that's a lot of what we cover on Sillage and Sorcery, because we talk about these ingredients that people love, like musk. And then we talk about how it's deer testicles.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, musk is deer testicles. Well, it's technically, I went into it. It's like a whole sack that is by the testicles, but it is not technically testicles on the musk deer.
So it's the gland. Is it the gland?
It is a gland very close to the scrotum that is in its own sac on the deer that lives in the Himalayas.
Musk. So all the times I've heard the term musk,
it is has been synthetic because the musk deer is endangered.
Okay.
There is black market musk, but if you ever hear the term white musk, that refers to synthetic musk, and that is what most musk is synthetic. There's different types of synthetic musk. Some of them are forever chemicals and don't break down in the environment, which sucks.
Yep.
But then there's other ones that have been used for years. The first one was made in 1888 when a guy was trying to invent a different way of getting TNT and instead created synthetic musk. So it just kind of like depends on, there's different types of musk and what you're looking for, but ultimately we get the original scent of musk from deer testicles.
Wow. Always learning. I'm always learning on the Paddy Wagon. How's that drink treat
Sorcery, you'll get all of this.
I'm fucking, yes, that is a must for me. I'm very curious now. Anything else related to that? Because, like I said, I'm going to get it out there for you. Drive, and thank you for the code. I think that's wonderful. People will 100% appreciate that. Anything else that we're missing? Clean products, environmentally friendly, tested on the owner, not animals. All the good things we want to hear. What else?
I'm willing to take a chemical burn for you guys.
I'll burn the shit out of myself.
I will take the L.
Well, I do have one question that kind of crept into my head as we were talking earlier, but we moved forward.
So question, is it about the feederism or is it about the cult part? Because it's been a ride.
It's been a hell of a ride.
For me, it's just been my life. So
my question is closer to feederism, but we'll just say the world of fetish.
Okay.
I want to know what I could what if I was like, I want to, like, for example, if I was like, I want to take feet pictures and sell feet pictures, right? Something like that. What is looking at me, taking it all in? Come on now. We've got me. I've got the magic. I've got all the good stuff. What is a fetish because when I think things, I think women. If I think of something I'm interested in, I think of like, oh, I'm into that. I want to see this. I want to Google these keywords and see what comes up. What would be good for me to get into if I was into a fetish, or I wanted to say, example, make money. If I wanted a side hustle that was fetish related, what's the hot thing right now?
There's definitely people who are into drinking.
Drinking?
And getting you wasted. Yeah, absolutely.
Just So the same thing, kind of feederism, but people are just going to get me fucked up.
Yeah. So instead of, getting diabetes and that sort of thing, just fucking up your liver.
Okay.
So screw up your liver instead of your pancreas. It's good.
Now, are they jerking off while this is going on, or is this just straight up? I just want to see somebody get shit faced.
Kind of like feederism, where like the feeder can have a fuck ton of different, motivations. Sometimes it's more of like a BDSM control thing. Like they like seeing someone completely lose control so that they could feel like they're in control. Sometimes there's like the nurture aspect of like this person is peeing on themselves, so they need someone who they need to be needed, right? So if a person's inebriated, the other partner is hella needed, right?
I gotcha.
So I feel like that would be an easy one, and it'd be enjoyable as shit.
It would be fun. It would be fun. I was more along the lines of just, camera waist down, me jerking off or something. But yeah, me getting drunk too. I like that actually better.
Yeah, but you don't get that much money from that.
Oh my God.
So I'm getting my MBA now because now I have a company and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm a therapist. I'm not social science. I can do social science research. I don't know how to run any of this nonsense. But I'm getting my MBA now, and they call it like niching. Like you got to find your niche.
Right.
There's so many people who for free waist down and jerk off on cam. Right.
Oh, damn it. That's
it's
right.
why they got rid of Omegle. Right. Like,
oh, was that the fucking thing where it was like you'd pop into it was like not a chat room or something, but basically just two random people from around the world would end up on screen together.
And it was like stranger. Yep. They would match you with a stranger. Like, that's everywhere. You got to like find a niche. Right.
Yeah. Everyone's jerking off.
I was the only BD who was a chick who didn't have a pay site. That's why I could ask you not nicely for $2,500 so that I could buy ice cream with gold flakes in it, and you would do it.
All right, back to the drawing board for me. This jerking off thing's not going to work.
No.
There's too many people doing it for free.
It's done. Yeah, people are doing it for free. You got to do something that'll get you paid.
Well, we'll work on that together. All right. Well, listen, I have had a wonderful time talking with you. I'm so thankful that you came on. It's so great to learn about you. This has been a hell of a ride, a hell of a show that could turn into 3 more. Let us know one more time. Socials, business. Like I said, I'll do my part. We'll plug everything. We'll get some clips out there for you. Let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find your products, and so on.
All right. So on Instagram and TikTok, I am at Sif Sniffs. If you want to find my podcast, it's Sillage and Sorcery. It's Sillage and Sorcery Pod on TikTok and Sillage and Sorcery on Instagram. My website is www.sifsniffs.com, which is SIFSNIFFS. And we ship all across the U.S. because there's a lot of restrictions on shipping perfume overseas. So I'm sorry, my international lovers. I love you from afar.
Yeah, we'll find a way to get it to you. Yeah,
find a way.
We'll find a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
There's a will, there's a way. Yes, it's. I'm very excited because I am going to be making a purchase, and I'm going to do a damn review on it. So if you nail what I like by just talking to me, it's just going to be. It's Hangman, dude. I'm fucking feeling the Hangman. All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Melissa, you're just a gem. Thank you so much for being on. I can't thank you enough, and I know everyone's had a blast listening to you. So peace out, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping past the Paddy Wagon. Bye.